In the ancient kingdom of Arendelle, a land of golden fields, misty mountains, and flowing rivers, lived a young man named Rowan. He grew up in a modest wooden house on the edge of the village of Eldenford with his father, a humble carpenter, and his mother, a kind woman who collected herbs to heal the sick. Rowan was known for his curiosity and ambition. While the other youths were content with village life, Rowan dreamed of discovering the world, learning its secrets, and one day becoming someone great. His father often told him, "Greatness is not in where you arrive, but in how you walk your path." Rowan, however, always felt that true greatness required leaving Eldenford behind. One year, a severe drought struck the kingdom. Rivers dried, crops withered, and people struggled to survive. Rumors spread of a mysterious artifact known as the Heartstone, said to possess the power to restore life to the land. Legends claim the stone rested somewhere beyond the shifting desert, guarded by ancient trials. When Rowan heard this, he felt an overwhelming desire to retrieve it and save his people. It was not only the hope of becoming a hero that pushed him, it was a deep fear of seeing his family and village suffer. Before Rowan left, his father gave him a wooden pendant shaped like a leaf. "This," he said, "is a reminder that everything starts small, but with patience, grows strong." His mother placed a simple clay flask in his bag and whispered, "This flask refills with water when you drink with gratitude. Never drink without appreciating what you have." Rowan did not fully understand the meaning of these gifts, but he accepted them with respect. He set off early in the morning, crossing forests, climbing hills, and following the dry riverbed that once flowed with clear water. After days of walking, he reached the Whispering Marsh, a dangerous place covered in thick fog. Strange noises surrounded him, and shapes moved at the corner of his vision. The fog seemed alive, and soon voices began to whisper his name. They told him he was foolish, that he would fail, that he was weak. Rowan stopped, shaken. The voices grew louder, repeating his deepest fears. Then he remembered the flask his mother gave him. He drank from it and whispered, "I'm grateful for my courage." The water tasted pure, and the fog slightly lifted. Rowan understood that fear often grows when we forget what we already have. He kept drinking whenever doubt took over, and each time the fog weakened. Eventually, he emerged from the marsh, wiser and more aware of the power of gratitude. Further on, Rowan reached a village named Thornwick, where the people had become bitter and suspicious due to years of struggle. When Rowan told them about the Heartstone, some laughed, some mocked him, and others tried to discourage him. A few even tempted him with shortcuts and dangerous ideas. Rowan nearly gave in, but then he met an old woman sitting by a well. Her eyes sparkled with kindness. She said, "People who mock your dream often mock their own. Walk with patience, not with pride." She gave him a smooth stone marked with the symbol of patience. Rowan took it and left the village, understanding that the world is full of voices. Some lift you, others break you, but only your inner voice determines your path. Days later, Rowan reached the entrance of the shifting desert. The sands moved like waves, rearranging themselves every night. Travelers often got lost forever. Rowan pushed forward through scorching heat and endless dunes. At night, he slept under the stars, clutching the wooden pendant his father gave him. One night, as Rowan walked through the dunes exhausted and thirsty, he collapsed. The desert seemed to swallow him. But the pendant began to glow faintly with warmth. Rowan heard his father's voice in his memory. "Everything starts small but grows strong." The words rekindled Rowan's determination. He drank from the flask grateful again and found strength. The next morning, he noticed that the desert winds created a temporary pathway of firmer sand. Trusting his instincts, he followed it. Along the way, Rowan met a young woman named Leora, who had also been seeking the Heartstone, not for fame, but to cure her little brother, who was gravely ill. At first, Rowan saw her as competition, but Leora proved brave, honest, and selfless. Seeing her sincerity, Rowan offered to travel with her. Their partnership taught him another powerful truth: sharing burdens makes journeys lighter. They supported each other through sandstorms, heat, and nights filled with strange desert creatures whose eyes glowed in the dark. Eventually, Rowan and Leora found a massive stone gate half buried in the sand. Strange symbols glowed on its surface. As they approached, a calm yet powerful voice echoed from the stone. "To seek the Heartstone, you must pass the trials of truth." The gate opened, revealing a labyrinth carved beneath the desert. They entered, torches flickering along the ancient walls. The first chamber they reached mirrored their greatest fears. Rowan saw himself failing, returning home empty-handed, his village ruined. Leora saw her brother fading away. The illusions overwhelmed them. Rowan almost gave up, but he remembered the well woman's words. Walk with patience, not with pride. He held the stone she gave him, and the illusions shattered. Leora held Rowan's hand and whispered, "Courage shared is courage multiplied." The chamber opened to the next trial. In the second chamber, they were separated. Rowan found himself facing multiple doors, each carved with promises. Power, wealth, admiration. Only one door was unmarked and plain. Rowan hesitated, tempted by the other doors. But he remembered his parents' teachings. Greatness was not in destination but in how he walked the path. He chose the plain door. The moment he touched it, all other doors vanished. They were illusions testing his values. Rowan realized that choices reveal who we are long before results do. Meanwhile, Leora had her own trial. She faced a guardian made of shifting sand who questioned her intentions. When she declared that she sought the Heartstone not for glory but love, the guardian bowed and let her pass. They reunited in the final chamber, where the Heartstone floated above a pedestal, glowing with brilliant light. But between them and the stone stood a shadowy figure, the guardian of balance. It spoke with a voice that shook the ground. The Heartstone cannot be taken by one who seeks only to change others. It can be held only by one who first changed themselves. Rowan stepped forward and admitted every flaw he had faced on his journey, his pride, his doubt, his impatience. He spoke with honesty and humility. Leora did the same, sharing her fears and hopes. The guardian's form dissolved into light, revealing a gentle, warm presence that said, "Your hearts have learned what your minds could not. Take the Heartstone, and may its light heal not only the land, but also those who carry it." Rowan lifted the Heartstone, and it filled the chamber with radiant energy. When he and Leora emerged from the labyrinth, the desert storms calmed, the sky cleared, and for the first time in years, a cool breeze swept across the dunes. They traveled back to Arendelle together. As they crossed rivers and valleys, the Heartstone's light revived plants, filled rivers, and restored life wherever it passed. Rowan returned to Eldenford not as a hero seeking praise, but as a man who understood humility, courage, patience, and the true meaning of strength. Leora returned to her village and healed her brother, her heart full of gratitude. When Rowan reached home, his parents welcomed him with tears and joy. He told them everything he had learned. His father placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "You left seeking greatness, but you returned truly great." Years later, Rowan became a wise mentor, teaching others not the secrets of the Heartstone, but the lessons of his journey, that fear loses power when faced with gratitude, that patience opens doors pride tries to break, that true strength is found in humility, and that no matter how vast the world is, the greatest battles are fought within oneself. His story lived on for generations, reminding people that the journey to greatness begins not with stepping forward, but with looking inward.